Hi, and welcome to the Lemonade series. I am Jaquetta, here with Lynne Forrest, the creator of the reality formula. Lynne just got back from London, so we've had to take a little bit of a break last week while she was in London, and we have been playing catch up all week. So we are glad to be back, and the workshop in London went very well. It was a seminar on reality formula in relationship and how to apply the guiding principles to our relationships.
It's good to be home. You know, I love to travel. I love working with groups, and I love coming home and getting back in the routine again too. So both are
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
very good.
we need it all. But you know, we worked and addressed relationship issues. The primary relationship being with ourselves and that which sources us, which is our higher self and as connected to the universe, right? One of the things that I noticed and observed were when couples begin to get into the blame game, right? You know, that whole thing, that's what you and I were talking about a few minutes ago, is how, and I so remember this, and it was with gratitude that I was able to remember that there was a time when that was my primary way of interacting with my primary significant other, my partners, was through this sort of conflictual confrontation where I really was all about letting them know how they had failed me, disappointed me, not lived up to, not done their part, hurt my feelings, etc. And so I would come at them from this perspective of you did this to me, which of course we know is very much victim. And you know, I do not remember one time it turning into a peaceful interaction. It never brought peace. It always went the opposite way. Haven't you found that with as well?
Yes, you think you're going to correct them and tell them how they've been mistreating you and that somehow that's going to magically make things better.
Yeah, like they want to hear that. Like they agree with you, because the first thing we can ascertain from the get-go is that each of us are pretty sure, no, absolutely convicted that our position is the right one and that we're seeing correctly and that they are not seeing correctly. And so it's all about being right, and it's all about getting them to admit we're right. And we will get right in their face to make the point of how wrong they are. And somehow we expect that to work out, which upon any amount of reflection whatsoever becomes apparent that that is not going to happen. So what do we do instead? And this is where the lemonade comes. You know, this is where you take that moment of react when you're just so sure that they've turned on you and not given you what you wanted, not acted the way they should have, not respected you the way that you deserve to be respected, etc. Take that moment and at that moment do something different than play out the old story. And so what would that be? Well, I always turn to the guiding principles. This is where we go for the turnarounds, for the opposite of the victim perspective. And the first thing that we do is drop blame, because when we understand that we're vibrational beings, we know that there's nothing that is happening between us that is not going to be a vibrational match for some part of our own psyche, something we're believing, and most often something we're holding against ourselves. It's a judgment that we're carrying most often that is being mirrored to us. We're reacting in them, or we're reacting about something in them that is actually something we most often are doing to ourselves. And we very often will be doing the very thing that we're resisting in them in our exchange with them. For instance, not long ago, I overheard a conversation, it was more like a conflict. It was between a couple, and what I heard was, I didn't hear all the details and all that, but I heard these two sentences, or this little exchange. I heard her say, "You always you always blame me, and it's never, and you never take responsibility for your part. And what was so interesting was in that moment, she was blaming him and not taking responsibility for her part. So it's so interesting how often it will be that we're doing the very thing that we're accusing them of course.
Right.
And the other thing about these sort of conflicts is to understand that we're designed to get triggered. We're designed to get triggered right on cue. We're designed to get triggered right on cue, offering us the opportunity to see where it is in us that we are out of right alignment with ourselves, with our higher possibilities, with our higher potential. And when we begin to do that, then when we have a react, we do something different with it. Rather than blame immediately, project our anger at ourselves out onto them and attack them for where we stand with ourselves, which is very often what's going on. Instead, ask the question, where is this in me? Who is this in me? And that shifts our whole interaction, just to move from that place, just to move from a place of understanding that I wouldn't have this exchange. They would not be I would not be seeing them do what it is I'm seeing them do if there weren't a place in me that it was pointing to. It's a finger pointing back at me. How many times have we heard that?
Yeah.
It's not the finger out there, it's the three pointing back that is the relevant direction to look. So we're learning to look in here instead. And that allows me to say, well, I'm having a react right now, and I know that somehow you are mirroring something that's important for me, and I want to be able to hear it. I want to be able to grow from it. And so I'm going to just sort of back off a minute and explore what it is you're saying to me and what it is I need to hear here, rather than rah! Then, and that shifts everything. Then all of a sudden something else becomes possible, because when we put down our defenses, it's an invitation to them to put down theirs. And very often, because we all really want to be loved, they will accept the invitation.
And I take responsibility for my part first. It not only feels better for me, but they respond more kindly, and it works out seems to resolve itself much more quickly than it would have, or it has in the past, when I just choose to lash out at them and say, look what you've made me do. This is wrong. How could you? It's just a lot faster, easier, simpler, cleaner.
Yeah, because really where they are with me is not my business anyway.
Right.
Where I am with me is my business. And I'm not going to be all irritated with you if I am forgiving and in standing in understanding of myself. It's just, there's nothing to project, because I'm in right relationship with me. And so that's really, we are very oriented to focusing out there and to get them to be who we need them to be so we can be happy, rather than understanding that when we are happy with us, we are happy with them. And that there's just no accident in what shows up, and they respond the way they do. They do what they do as an opportunity for us to see and to clear and to forgive and respond rather than react from a place of forgiveness. That shifts everything.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much. And I
You.
look forward to doing more of these Lemonade series with you very soon.
Thank you.